Hello guys, and welcome back to Joe's Ventures, and today we're doing another PK video. We've just got the recent devlog for February 2020. So we got February 2020, devlog 26. This is going to be epic. Okay, so now we first start off with this cute little baby mammoth. I reckon the baby mammoth is just one of my favorite little baby animals in the game. Just tell me how cute that is. It's just got the big eyes, it's so cute. Okay, welcome to February's development update. Today we'll be diving into what the team's been up to over the past month and introduce you to a new team member. Work behind the scenes has continued to grow, more exciting by the day as we buckle down on features and content pipelines. Let's get into the discussion. Okay, so this is just a basic idea of what's happening in development. Okay, new hire. Joining Prehistoric Kingdom team, we would like you to introduce the project's newest programmer, Seth. So welcome, Seth. He'll be overseeing developments such as water painting and assisting us whenever possible to spread the workload more evenly. You'll be seeing more progress from him in the coming months while we move on to next parts of the game. So his development progress. So just introducing Seth. Hopefully he has a good time and does some good work, obviously. It's nice to have a new member of the team. So development progress. One of our goals this month was to accelerate and optimize development tasks to better utilize the time left until early access as an opportunity to clean up a handful of features that aren't essential to the tool game at launch. Because of this change, we're ready to move on to the second phase of development. With Seth taking care of features like water painting, Matt and Mal are able to proceed with other aspects of the game. Our goal for 2020 is to provide a playable and polished alpha with a beta release following shortly after, depending on player feedback. So the goal of this year is getting a playable alpha for the backers. So that's the goal. Below you find our new monthly development report. Since it's difficult to quantify an adaptive development cycle via percentages, each month will display card listings what we've been up to. Those marked with a love heart represent a bespoke piece of development you want to highlight. So stuff that they've really been working on or wanting to really make attention. So here we can see we're finally moving into pre-alpha 2. As you can see, the programming side, we've got Seth coming in, we've got the new modular buildings, lightning fog, user interface and post-processing. Makes it a little bit easier on the computer. Rig updates, movable eyes, more modular assets like walls, roofs and props, new trees and foliage, new sculpts and textures, animations, all the good stuff, especially the music and sound design. So now we're going to be getting into the programming. Animal implementation and improvements. Allosaurus served as a new benchmark for animal testing during February, including a few changes for the creature going forward. One of the items on our list is a new blend system. Each animal has its own set of additive fidgets that layer on top of the animations to create more interest when moving. So you can see the work in progress below. So you can see here, instead of just having its head walking one way, it now kind of like sometimes it'll move its head one way, maybe do a roar. If you've seen Planet Zoo, it's a kind of similar system. It just breathes a little bit more life into them because they're not just walking one way with animation. They're a lot more responsive. They'll look one way, they'll flick their claws, they'll let out a little breath or something. It just makes them a little bit more realistic just because they are able to, it's not just one single walking animation, it's just the animals are able to respond and move and look like they're responding. It's pretty cool. Another important step we took this month was adding support for eye movement on our rigs. Instead of a dead glazy eye, a stare, the animals will subtly dart their eyes along with supplementary squinting and blinking depending on the animation. So here we have the eye movement test. That's actually pretty cool. That really adds a lot of character, I think. Just having it look around makes it look a lot more real. So that combined with that is really going to make some very nice realistic looking animals. It's a small change with big implications for personality and character. Without it, it would be almost impossible to effectively portray the gaze of certain mammals like felines and bears. So it's definitely going to really help with the Smilodon and the cave bear because it gives them a lot of character, because looking into the eyes of an animal, especially for humans, is very important to tell personality. And I think that looks really cool. I'm really excited to see how this is going to look in game. Just watching it walk around. Looks like a real animal just walking around. Okay, moving on to the modular building. The modular building system continues to receive new functionality and polish thanks to the collaboration between Mao and Nathan. Pieces can automatically be stacked on top of each other or aligned directly to a surface, available for use at any time, any object type, even walls, so you can do whatever you like with it. So here's a couple GIFs. And you can stack it. Look at that. That's cool. In February, we also added recolorable plaster, wood, and glass sets to test how scalable our workflow is for creating new material pieces in a timely manner. As expected, a good foundation makes adding new texture sets fairly easy within a short amount of time. So you've got castle brick, painted wood. So these are all recolorable, plaster, and glass. Within mine, we were able to make some interesting builds. Now this is what they've made, just playing around. I like that a lot. You could even put some paths in the middle, put some shops. That look awesome. So that is cool. Just from these pieces here, you can really make some interesting things. And now that looks cool. That would be like a cool, if you put that in an enclosure, you could have that in there, and then you could use it to look into some viewing areas. You could imagine like putting like a rock there and letting a Smilodon come sit up there or something like that. I think that would be awesome. Same with here. This looks like a good shelter for some larger animals, maybe bison. That would be cool. Same with here, another cool viewing area. Viewers with keen eyes may have noticed an update to our interface format. The new HUD, not HD, shows more placeable objects on screen at one time while retaining our existing aesthetic. We took this opportunity to make the menu resizable for ease of use, a long requested feature from the dev team. So now we can pick up and move the UI, something small, but it's awesome. And look at all these pieces. It's awesome that all these pieces are colorable. So it's the modular system is going to be inherently different from something like Planet Zoo, because you don't need to go through all these menus to look for the right texture piece. You can just put down a piece and then highlight it and then pick a texture. I think that'll be a really interesting way to try and make the system more streamlined. It'll be really awesome to see how that kind of system comes out. Okay. Now we've got atmospherics and lighting updates. There's something missing from our world, atmospherics. We've added distinct atmospherics and height fogs to provide our level with greater visual depth across all times of day. So we can see here, look at that. That's through the day, then the afternoon, and the night. Well, that's cool. Doesn't that look awesome? We also have to finally see that with animals. Now we've got the species spotlight, what everyone's been waiting for. Okay, so February species spotlight reveals two classic dinosaurs, Allosaurus and Triceratops. Grumpy in every way, both critters require a large amount of space and strict habitat preferences to be successfully contained. So here we've got Allosaurus. This one's Europus from Europe. And the other, there's actually some alt species for this guy. There's Fragilis, which is from the Morrison Formation, and also Maximus, which is also known as Saurophaganax. And yeah, that's also from the Morrison Formation, but probably a bit later. We don't really know much about. Some people argue that it's just a later Fragilis, or usually it's pretty much semantics at that point to try and say if it's a species or a later Fragilis or whatever. But it's a nice excuse to have a big Allosaurus. So here we can see it's from tropical dry in the Jurassic period. So the Aeropus were coming from the Lorena Formation in Portugal. So here we see we've got, this is the earliest one. I really like the stripes, the veld. So we can see this one's Europus. As you can see here, Fragilis. That's what you get, about 75%. And then when you get the big one, big Saurophaganax, you get Badlands at 100%. And then now we've got Triceratops horridus. Mainly the differences with Allosaurus is the crests. You can see the crests have changed. We'll get more into it when we see more. And the sizes, of course. Now with Triceratops horridus. I really like this blue frill. I think that came out really well. So here we've got He's in Triceratops horridus is in temperate oceanic from the Cretaceous period of Hell Creek. And looking at the, let's have a look at the, needs a pretty big paddock. So look, the densities are quite onto it. You need to have a minimum of 5% and all that. 2 to 5 animals, that's pretty cool. It's alright security ratings. Now for Triceratops, a little bit bigger, a little bit more foliage, about 50% maximum, 5% water density, so you need to have a nice little pond. 3 to 8 animals, so it looks like they have an okay sociality, so they don't need to have big herds at least. Privacy, so they like to have, they don't need to have too much privacy, but they like a little bit. And security, it's about 50%. Now you can see the 2 alt species that they have. They have the T. porosus, which is the later species of Triceratops, living right at the end of the Cretaceous. And then horridus is the later one, the earlier one, from just a little bit earlier. Horridus is believed to evolve into porosus. Now what's really interesting is that the differences here, they're not too, it's really in the skull that you can see here. With porosus, it's got a very long triangular skull with a big nose horn, and if you look at horridus here, it's got a lot boxier skull with not a prominent nose horn, not as prominent I mean, and it's believed it's because it's evolving with Tyrannosaurus, so it became more defensive as time got on. And now we get to see some of the art. So using its large claws to hunt for fish, Baryonyx is a staple for the UK's prehistoric history. Hosting an array of conical teeth, its specialized diet is a common trait among spinosaurids. So here we get to have a nice look at the Baryonyx. You can see the walk cycle. I really like that walk cycle. Just walking along, plodding along, you can really feel the weight of it. The tail swaying. Oh, that looks nice. And let's have a look at the run. Oh, that's a nice run. He boosting fast, boy. I really like the weight of this one. Looks like he's really putting some effort into it. Okay, and then are always willing to share a picnic basket. Hey, Yogi! The cave bear carries many resemblance to extant species. Found across Europe and Asia, the species is smaller than the famous short-faced bear. So we see a nice walking animation for the cave bear, or Ursus splayus. Just chilling. I really like how this bear came out. It's a real nice animal. Just chilling. You really see, it does feel like a bear. And here's the run cycle. You can see it galloping. Bears are huge animals, but yet they can still gallop like that. I think that looks quite cool. And moving at a fast speed. You going incredibly fast, boy. I like that they probably use references from modern day bears to really get a good look at how the animation would work. I think that looks cool. And plus, it's cool to see mammals in a game like this. It's usually just dinosaurs, but prehistoric mammals, there's a lot more to history than just prehistory than just dinosaurs, guys, which is awesome. So now we're back into the animal showcase. So here we have the animal redux for fan favorites. Here we have Allosaurus and Triceratops receiving touch-ups and alterations to their in-game debut courtesy of Cindy. Liz helped out with both species, designing a new look for Allosaurus europus and T. porosus respectively. So we can see here the different species of Allosaurus. We can see here Europasaurus, obviously mentioned from Europe. We can see it's a little bit smaller, the smallest one out of the 3 with a different crest, probably the least impressive crest. And then we can see over here Allosaurus fragilis. We can see it's got the more bright yellow crests here, looks more like fragilis, and is the medium sized one. This one will be from Morrison. And here's Saurophaganax or Allosaurus maximus. It's really semantics whether you lump them or not, but I'll just say for the sake of it, Allosaurus maximus or Saurophaganax, just because it's more notable. Here we have the Saurophaganax here. We can see it's got the big crest here and it just towers over everything. From what we've got, we knew it probably got quite big, like around 10-11 meter mark. It was pretty big carnivore. And we know that Allosaurus also had a lot of variation within its size, just for maybe just populations or food supply. Really interesting that we have enough specimens to be able to tell that. So now we'll be moving on to the Triceratops. Here we've got Triceratops horridus. Now I really like how these skins came out. I like this male one, with the lines here and the blue here. I normally don't like blue on large animals because obviously blue is a very uncommon thing in animals, this color to see in animals, because it's very hard for a pigment. Usually it's just made by reflecting light. But I think it works well on this Triceratops as a design, just because it's on the face, and that's usually where it's a display structure, so that's where you usually want to put the bright colors. And I think that looks quite nice. And then we'll move over to, this is Prorosis. You can see the difference. You can see the shorter skull here and the longer one here. So here we have the longer skull. We can have this like almost giraffe-like patterning on the back. I really like this, how this came out. And the only inaccuracy I can think is of the texture, because here they kind of put the frill as a keratinous sheath, but in life we have pictures and we know that the texture of the frill was probably very similar to the one of the body and having scales. But it's really not that much of an issue, because you can kind of see that some of the skins already have that kind of texture anyway, so it's not too much of an issue. But yeah, you can see this really nice giraffe pattern one. I really like this one. And this one too, I really like. The two Prorosis ones I think are better overall than the horridus, but that's just my opinion. But I really like these two. I like this bright colors on the frill and this nice one. So here we can see, compare the old Allosaurus to the new Allosaurus. Now you can really see the glow up it had. And see how much, you can really see, like wow. Just look at that. You really see the textures have improved. It just looks awesome. Textures improved, colors improved, anatomy's improved, just everything's improved. This is why they've gone through and remade a lot of the animals, just because the quality's just gone up so high. Now, before it did have a distinct title, now it's just pretty much realistic, and it's really awesome. So that's the old Allosaurus and the new Allosaurus. Now we've got the old Triceratops here. Now the Triceratops has already been remade a few times, so this is the latest remake. And then the new one. Now you can really see the improvement. It's just, just changes in the textures and slight changes in the models and such really just make it look that much better. You really see the textures on the little nipple scales along the body. That really just brings it out more, and you can see the lines of wrinkles and such. It just looks real good. Cannot complain at all. So you can look out, check the, I'll put Cindy's ArtStation in the description, because I know that you guys might want to have a good look at the Triceratops models and the Allosaurus and all the other stuff she does for PK. So here we've got a community spotlight. So here we've got Help, who made this nice, I really like the texture, I really like the scales. It's meant to be the Allosaurus, the new Allosaurus. It looks like A fragilis color. Marsh. You can see the patterning go around here, and the bright crest is quite nice. And here we have a Crowny Weeb. I don't know how to feel about this, because I'm definitely not a weeb, but it's nice drawing, of course. And here we've got, this is a nice one. I like this one. It's got Crowny with the Triceratops, and looks like the Velociraptor here. It's pretty cute. It's wholesome. I like how Crowny's the new avatar for the new mascot for PK. Who doesn't love a Brontosaurus? Okay, well, thank you guys for reading February's devlog. As the project moves forward into the second phase of development, we thank everyone deeply for their patience and ongoing support for Prehistoric Kingdom. There are many great things on the horizon, with many surprises still to come. What will be there, only time will tell. The PK team. Well, I really am happy with this deck. This was a nice devlog. It really helped, because we're moving into a new phase. We've got more of the modular tools coming in, really starting to get into more gameplay, which I'm really happy to see. I'm really interested in getting my hands on that when I can. But yeah, I really liked this devlog, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. As same with the PK team, I really enjoy your support. Now that we've passed 1k, I really hope that you guys like and subscribe to get me up to 2k as soon as possible, and I hope to see you around later. Wrong one.